one of my goals when I started that position was to get 75% total participation. And I didn't achieve that in the first year that I was there, nor in the first semester of this year. Um, and I wanted to achieve it because I had the both empirical and anecdotal research, as well as my own like personal lived experience, that after school activities are good for kids. They help kids feel successful academically, socially. They're more invested in the community. Um, and I also noticed that in our really diverse community, our students who were receiving free reduced lunch or extra assistance weren't benefiting uh, as much from them. Um, I'm not still working on it because I don't work at DC International School anymore. But I hope I've set my successor up for um, to do better this next go around. Um, I think for me not to achieve it, I learned that there was a gap in my own cultural competence, so cultural incompetence, where I had made a lot of assumptions about why students weren't participating, why parents weren't signing kids up. Um, and so I think, and also like what counts as an after school activity. And so I think I learned that I needed to do more data mining and talking to parents, and also examination of like what my assumptions were around this. And so three things that I would do differently is number one, the assumption that I made that parents understand the benefit of an after school activity and that everyone has this history of like doing the school play or playing a sport. Just isn't true. So making sure that I'm really clear about why I'm invested in this metric with parents. Changing what counts in the metric, because we had a lot of students who were participating in a cool after school activity through Latin American Youth Center or through another organization, and those should count towards my metric if they're engaged in an after school activity. And then also thinking about how we disseminate information to students and parents. I know that like I was really intentional about doing things in both English and Spanish because I felt like that was something that I could do, but also thinking about the digital divide was something that I didn't do very often. And so I think to go back and think that through would be really beneficial. Okay. So I really like this question about why do challenging things. I think that I've been really fortunate to have great mentors, great teachers, have some really cool experiences, and now I owe the product of that back to the world. And so I am really only happy when I'm taking on something that that I think is important on a global scale. I think most recently, starting DC International School with a really great group of teachers and administrators was certainly fast-paced and challenging. With doing IB, immersion, one-to-one technology, restorative justice, and then saying we're going to build socially competent and global citizens who are going to be aware of social justice and environmental sustainability, while also thinking like these kids are going to chew gum and they're going to put it under things, is in itself like a really big conundrum. But having to think through all those different things not only keeps the work exciting for me, but also keeps me motivated because I know that there is a really important end goal. Okay, so if I had three things that I have to do, two that I know how to do, and one that I don't, to do in the next 2 weeks, the first thing that I would do is use Google Calendar to chunk those tasks out, and also to ensure that I'm giving myself more time for the tasks that I don't know how to do, and sandwiching it with things that I do know how to do to make myself feel good about myself, essentially. And I think one of my strengths, and I know that other people might not consider this a strength, is that I'm really not shy about saying what I don't know, and I'm not shy about asking for help. And so once I've exhausted my own resources on the tasks that I don't know how to do, I will be sure to reach out to somebody who does know what they're doing to get their advice and hopefully to learn how to do it. I really like to learn, and I like to continuously improve and get better at things. And I like to surprise myself too, um, with things that I never thought that I'd be able to do before. And so I definitely would solicit the help of others, and also get continuous feedback from the team if that's something that they're in a position to do.